Yes, welcome one, welcome all. It is your Chief Leadership Officer Scott McCarthy here, and this weekly live video. And we're going to be talking about tackling burnout because I hear from you all regularly. Scott, I'm exhausted. Scott, my team stressed out. Scott, we are burning out. Scott, we just can't handle it anymore. There's so much going on right now. And reality is this is a normal thing. Okay? Now, is it normal to be consistently burnt out? No. But from time to time, we go through these peaks and valleys of how much stress and strain we're under. Sometimes, it's good, life's good. We're just kind of chugging along, doing our thing, and just doing it. But then deadlines get piled on top of us, dead tasks get piled on top of us. We have an issue here with one of our team members, gets piled on top of us, and it just keeps adding, and suddenly the stress builds up, and suddenly, boom, we're just like, I'm just had it. No doubt you felt that way too. Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about 3 strategies, the 3 P's on how to combat burnout. Now, is this going to be the magic red pill or blue pill, depending on your preference? And let me know if you know that quote, by the way, or that reference, I should say. No, it's not going to be. But it will be the Advil or Tylenol. So it's not going to completely solve it, but it's going to help relieve it. And then you'll get through it. And then as you get through it, then you come back down and get through it, and then you go back to that kind of steady state. So before we dive into the 3 Ps, let's talk a bit about burnout itself. And I want you to be able to understand, one, the signs of it, so that you can either recognize it in yourself or you can recognize it in your team members as a team lead. Okay, so let's talk about it. Burnout is basically it's emotional, physical, even, and mental exhaustion, and this is caused by prolonged stress. So again, back to what I said earlier, things getting piled on top of each other. Car broke down, fought with the spouse, boss pushed the deadline up, person called in sick, someone else quit, project delayed, yada yada yada. TPS report is due. TPS report, was the wrong cover sheet. Boom, boom, boom. Just add on, and suddenly you just feel exhausted. You're ready to, kind of explode. Okay. Doesn't have to be even that extreme. Okay. There are some other ways that you can identify in yourself or your team members that burnout may be setting in. And again, we want to be proactive, not reactive, to addressing this, because being proactive is always better than being reactive. Okay? Proactive means you're getting in front of the problem. Reactive means the problem's in front of you. Now you have to deal with it even more. So, if you find yourself neglecting needs, okay, not eating properly, not sleeping properly, okay, not getting exercise in, not hanging out with friends, not doing the things you love, this is a identifier of burnout coming in. If you basically displace problems, so you just kind of shove it on, whatever. All right. But the reality is that can turn around and cause panic because, again, you're pushing it into a reactive mode because you're kind of pushing it down later and later to the point where you need to then suddenly deal with it, leading to panic. Suddenly, you start going against your values. So if you have a value of family, but suddenly you're just purely focused on work and neglecting your family or getting your team members to neglect theirs, okay? And this is over a prolonged period because, there will be peaks and valleys in works, busyness. It happens. Sometimes, you know what? You have to take care of work more so than the family, but then you have to balance it out later, come back down. But if you're not doing that, you're keeping it always about work, 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 and you're forgetting about your values and other things, that could be a sign. If you're withdrawing, so maybe, before you used to take your lunch breaks and you used to hang out with your friends, your coworkers, laugh and chat. If you're withdrawing from your friends outside of work, withdrawing from your community, withdrawing from your family, these are all signs that burnout could be coming in. If people start talking to you and start going, hey, you've been withdrawn lately. Hey, you're not doing what you used to do. Hey, are you going to come with me on our usual bike ride, our yoga class? I miss my workout partner. Hey, I miss my book club partner. Okay. These could be signs of burnout as well. Depersonalization. So what that means is you're no longer valuing the people, Joes and Janes and Sallys. You don't value them as people, but rather you look at them as objects just to get things done. That could be another sign. Inner emptiness. You're like, so empty. It just feels so alone and just and then you start trying to fill this void with negative things such as alcohol, drugs, even overeating potentially. Okay. Depression, that feeling of getting, you're lost, you're unsure about the future. This can all be signs of burnout. So if you notice this in you or your team members, you have to, in yourself, start taking action, and in your team members, have a conversation, and as the team lead, team manager, start taking action in them. Okay? So with that, we've talked about now what burnout is and some signs and how to recognize it. Let's talk about the 3 Ps in overcoming these 3 strategies. The first one is a word that I use so much in our Leader Growth Mastermind, which is our elite community for leaders who want to grow and develop their skills, and that is prioritize. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. You have to prioritize your workload because it'll never all get done. Accept it today. Accept that now. Work will always be there. It will always be there. There will always be something to do. 100%. Okay? There's always going to be something to do. So you need to prioritize what you do and when you do it. And that is a form of hitting the relief valve on the stress. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the strategy of prioritization that I teach. Okay? And that is the Eisenhower Matrix. Love this. It was developed by former General / U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower, and it is a quadrant of 4. Okay, 4, not 3, but 4. Okay, 4 sides. 4 spots. Okay. Think of it now. At the top, you have urgency, and on the side, you have importance. So we have urgent, not urgent, important, not important, which develops 4 quadrants. Okay, so for the stuff that is urgent and important, I want you to do it right away. And that's going to relieve some stress because those urgent, important things are going to be weighing on you because they're the most important stuff. They have to get done right now. If you don't get done right now, stress is going to pile on it. Your boss is going to be on top of you, breathing down your neck. Like, hey, where's the TPS report? Let's do. Let's go. I need it. So the urgent, important stuff we're going to do right away. Another quadrant in the prioritization matrix is the important, not urgent stuff. So it's important. Gotta get to it. But it doesn't have to get done right away. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to schedule it. You're going to plan for when you're going to take care of it. Say, hey, Friday morning, 9 till 10, TPS report. I'm nailing that sucker. Put it in your calendar. Put it right in your calendar, working on it, okay? And what that's going to do is relieve some of the stress. Because you have a plan. You're in proactive mode now, not reactive mode. And that, again, is relieving some of that stress. For the urgent but not important stuff, like, hey, this needs to get done, but it's not super important that it's worth my time. You're going, as the team lead, delegate it. You're going to pass that on. You're going to give that to a team member or outsource it if you have the ability to do so. Okay? But the thing is that your time needs to be spent with the important stuff, right, as a leader. What's important to you. Okay? So urgent, not so important stuff, delegate it down. And then finally, the fourth quadrant, my favorite of the quadrants in the matrix, is the not urgent, not important stuff. We're going to delete it. We're just going to stop doing it. Okay? It's like, hey, no one reads the TPS reports. There's no deadlines associated to it. And, like, thinks it's important. No, just stop doing it. Suddenly you have one less task. One less task on your list of tasks that isn't sucking up your bandwidth. That is the first key. There are other prioritization frameworks that I teach in the Leader Growth Mastermind. However, this is the one that pertains best to the situation in burnout. I love the Eisenhower Matrix. Again, important, urgent stuff you want to do. The not urgent, important stuff you want to schedule. The urgent, not important stuff you want to delegate. And finally, the not important, not urgent stuff, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Okay, so that's the first P. Moving on to P number 2. P number 2 is we're going to push back. If your boss comes to you, your supervisor comes to you and says, hey, I got a task for you. Okay, boss, great. You've given me 5 tasks. This is how you push back. Thank you. Understood. You give me 5 things. I can do 3 with the amount of time I have. Which 2 am I not doing? So what you're not doing is you're not saying no. No one likes to hear no, right? You as a supervisor, you as a leader, you definitely don't want to hear no, and neither does yours, right? But what you're saying to your supervisor is, you need to prioritize my load now. I got 3, you give me 5, I can do 3. So which 2 am I not doing? Okay. I think, this one here is super important and we need to get done ASAP. So I should definitely do this one. This one here, maybe. This one here, honestly, I don't recommend we do it all. This one I should probably do. So my recommendation is this one, that one, this other one here, and there's 2 outliers. They can go away, and that's my 3. What do you think? Okay. Again, you're putting the onus back on your supervisor. You're pushing it back to them. You're getting them to prioritize your load. You're pushing it back. But you're doing it in a respectful way. And you're not saying no, but rather, what are my priorities? Because it is what I like to refer to, actually, here. This is what I want you to do. I want you to take your right hand and put it up. Your index finger up and your thumb out. So you got kind of like an L or a backwards L. Now you're going to do the same thing with your left hand. Bring it up. And now you're going to take your index fingers, you're going to put them together and your thumbs together. Dink. And now you're going to round it. Okay, no, we're not doing the whole heart thing, but we're rounding. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a pie chart. That is how much time you have in a day to be able to do the things you need to do. That is how much time you have, your team has, I should say, to be able to do the things you need them to do. So how do you divide up your pie chart? Can't make a pie chart bigger. It's impossible. You can shrink the demands that eat into the pie chart, but at the end of the day, the pie chart doesn't grow, it doesn't shrink, it stays exactly the same. And that's what you're trying to, message to your supervisor when you push back. Like, okay, great, I got a pie chart. How do you want this pie chart sliced up? Here's how I see it could be sliced up, but it's up to you how you want me to slice it up. Okay, that is pushing back. Okay. So we talked about prioritization, prioritize. We talked about pushing back. Final P to avoiding burnout is pausing, taking a break, taking a breather. Okay? Pausing is actually super crucial. You need those daily pauses. How many of you spend your lunch times working at your desk? Don't answer me, because I already know a lot of you do. How many people go through their day without any true breaks? Got a great story from a mastermind member. We'll call them S. It's not for Scott, it's not me, okay? SB. All right. SB was part of this team, finance team, super high stress, always under the gun. Finance folks, right? And what he ended up doing was he ended up starting to take walks at lunchtime to clear his mind, just get out and get away. And this is something I recommended to him for a while, and finally he caught on, and he said, yep, I'm going to do it. So he did it, and he's like, God, it felt good. I came back, I was so much more productive. Yes, of course you were. Because you get away from it, and it gives your brain a chance to relax. It's like when you exercise, you don't just keep doing reps and reps and reps and reps and reps until you're done. You do them in sets. You do them in like 3 sets. Or thanks to my trainer, Chris, shout out to Chris Good and Fitness, by the way. Today I was doing sets of bench press by 4 reps by 4 sets, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I take a break. And I add some more weight on. I do some more. 4 more. Okay. All right, feel good. Add some more weight on. Another little break. Ugh. Stop. All right, next exercise. It's the same thing with your brain and work and stress. So SB realized this after I talked to him. And he started doing walks at lunchtime. And guess what happened? I'm not talking about him. People noticed. People noticed he was more productive. People noticed that he was refreshed. And people started joining him. And soon enough, SB didn't have, a coworker or two walking with him at lunchtime. He had a freaking walking club. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts. I couldn't believe it. I'm never so proud. But the moral of the story is suddenly the whole team was taking a break, that pause. The third P. You're pausing. taking that break, enabling their brains to relax, the stress to sift away, getting their minds away from the office, getting their minds away from TPS reports, getting their minds away from the email. And then they came back and crushed the rest of their day right into the afternoon. So, folks, the whole story here, actually, in this story, there's two morals. One is a pause is a force multiplier. Taking your break and going after and taking care of yourself will enable you to actually do more. And the second thing is that you can lead by example, get others interested, and follow you no matter what. All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is the 3 P's to avoid burnout. Prioritize, number one. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. Great tool is the Eisenhower Matrix. Google it. Look it up. It's awesome. 2, push back. Get your supervisor to prioritize what it is that you're going to do within your day. And then the final thing is pause. Take a pause, take a breath, and come back, multiply, ready to rock it and crush it. That's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Remember, as always, lead, don't boss. Take care now.